And we're back with G.M.T. Tonight's review is on WrestleMania Night 1. Um, I'm be real with y'all. It was a garbage night, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't even want to lie to y'all. Normally, I try to give wrestling the benefit of the doubt because I'm paying attention to a lot of things that they're trying to do. But Night 1 was straight garbage, y'all. It We got some surprise returns. Granted, because the news came out, we kind of knew who was returning. Um, so I'm just gonna go in order for y'all. Uh, I gave the night one an overall F. We only really had two good matches. Um, two good championship matches, and I'm not going to count the free ESPN matches they showed because I feel like because they were shown free, they they didn't have the luster it deserved. And I think WWE needs to relook at how that model is done in the future. I don't mind us having uh free matches shown free like the first hour free on Mania, but I get it. You're showing a free product, but at the same time, your product shouldn't be ass. It's WrestleMania. By no stretch of the imagination should your first hour be ass. And this is already kind of sort of giving people some bad vibes for night two. And I'll say this first of all, first and foremost. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry I look a little disheveled. Today was my wife and I baby's reveal. We're having a son. Um, so apologies for looking a little disheveled. I'm a little tired too. So if I sound like the energy looked gone in me, it's because I'm just tired. I've been up since like seven something, and I've been on the go. Actually, I've probably been up a little bit earlier than that, but I just been on the go all day today. But anywho, we're here about WrestleMania today. Um, so going back to what I was saying, yeah, they failed us when it came down to our free material. I'm not saying that the matches were like the free material matches were bad. Well, all right, they were bad. I'm still trying to find something to grasp onto to say, no, this wasn't that bad. No, it was bad. So I gave it an overall for like I this is close to WrestlePalooza for me, y'all. This was bad. I ain't gonna hold you. And some people gonna say it wasn't that bad. Like, wasn't WrestlePalooza bad? I'm putting it up there for WrestlePalooza bad because I think this was a garbage night. And I understand we are riddled with injuries. We are, the crowd was ass for a good portion of the night. And, I'm all over the place, but let me go in order here. I understand, first and foremost, that there's a lot of variables going on, Um, I understand that. Uh, the first issue here is, ticket prices being outrageously high. And if you check the ticket prices, like for like the first when you check the tickets like the first 30 like not the first 30 minutes, but the last 30 minutes going into Mania starting, those tickets dropped down to like 128, y'all. Now, granted, the seats were still nosebleeds, but on the floor was like 600, and I'm like, dang, that's kind of doable at this point, like 600. And I was like, because this was not a sellout, y'all. They're gonna lie to you and tell you it was a sellout. It was not a sellout. Um, so first and foremost, the joint was not a sellout. Mania this year was like Mania for night one was straight garbage. Um, like so, I know that boggled them down. As we already know, WWE likes to make real life situations a storyline. So we're getting WWE versus TKO because this is a TKO call. Like love them or hate them, and I don't agree with anything that Vince has done at all. But the one thing again that he spoke of was making rest WWE should be affordable for families, and it this year it just was not. It was outrageously high, and you felt it. Now, moving on from that, because I think we all know where we stand, that these outrageous ticket prices are like stupidly high for no apparent reason. But moving on from that, for the card, I don't think the card was bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't feel like the card was bad. I think they really did not give any oomph behind this WrestleMania. And I don't know if this is a behind the scenes call. I don't know if they were just rushing for certain situations. But this, y'all, I'm gonna see real fast if the match, like how long these matches went, or here. Because hold on. Let me see if these matches, the match lengths are on here, because I'm gonna give y'all some ideas. Okay, the matches are updated. Okay, so with the lengths of the matches. So again, I gave the night one an F. So let's go in order real fast of match. First matches was the Usos and LA Knight versus ISHO Speed and the Vision. Now I want to say I only got one match where I predicted every single match on how the outcome was going to be. And I know I can't prove to you, but I promise you I predicted every match but one. But one match I couldn't predict, and I think that was still a failure on WWE's part. And I'll get to that when I get to that. So anywho, first match, Usos LA Knight versus ISHO Speed and the Vision. From how the storyline was already building, it was already going off of, hey, Usos and LA Knight taking this. Now, because again, we already know there were certain places where people were supposed to be. Like, again, there were speculations that LA Knight was going to go against Brock Lesnar. Nobody really wanted that. There were speculations at one point in time, if had the Vision been healthy, that it was going to be LA Knight and Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed sadly got hurt, so that put us on a back burner. If you watch my video about my thoughts on what's going on with WWE, what I think should happen, what's going on go forth, everything, my thoughts on WWE currently, I address, don't play with crutches. So please go check that video out. So yeah, it was like, so they had to pair LA Knight with the Usos, so LA Knight will be on the card because he's still a megastar. He's still popular. The fans are still heavily behind him. And so they shoot, and this was what they called a celebrity match. So ISHO Speed was here. Y'all, this match went on for 7 minutes. And this is one of the free matches. 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Clearly, the winner are the Usos and LA Knight. And after the match, Speed basically, because he was cursed, Speed was a heel because like the Usos and the Usos and LA Knight didn't know what was going on. So it was just like, but ultimately, Logan Paul turns on him. They, hit the 1D on Logan Paul. They set him up. Speed puts Logan Paul through an announcer table. And it's like, oh, that's the big hype for that match. Y'all, ain't it. It wasn't it. Had this probably been the Usos versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory, it probably would have been a banger of a match. But we needed some place to put LA Knight, which, we honestly, it probably been better off if LA Knight would have been left as the card because they left. Well, we don't know. We don't know about EO yet. But I'm almost positive EO's going to show up in Rhea's match to help her out. But, I'm going to be real with you. It was almost better off they didn't put LA in the match because he had no place. It's like, don't get me wrong, he won the match. But it was one of those things where it was just like, this is like why? Why was it 7 minutes? What's going on? Like, what's going on? It was like, hey, we do this, throw some person out the ring. Oh, I caught you slipping, blood force trauma. Match over. Oh, Speed and Logan Paul got into it. Speed puts Paul through the table. Match over. All right, let's move on to the next match, which should have been majority of the free hour. I'm not going to hold you. That's Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. This match should have been, I'm going to be honest with y'all, it should have been bloody. If it's not bloody, it should have been carnage. And it wasn't carnage. They threw some tables. They threw some chairs. It was not it, y'all. This match, It had potential to be one of the best matches of the night, and I think like Usos and LA Knights versus ISHO Speed and the Vision, these are all Raw matches. These could have closed out Monday Night Raw and could have closed out a Friday Night SmackDown and be like, all right, cool. I think you would have got more out of it in that perspective versus putting it on a Mania card, especially if you're going to shorten the match. Now, Jacob Fatu and Drew went on for 14 minutes. That's not bad. But again, this is an unsanctioned match. So to say that for this to be Mania and it feels so lackluster and you know both these superstars can do what they can do, it's just like, why are we doing this? Why are you doing this to these guys? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? Why are we speeding this? Why aren't we making this? Why aren't we making the audience go, ooh, ah? And it's like, y'all, this audience was dead. This audience was trash. So, again, the free hour was because it felt like they had to be safe because it's like, well, y'all didn't pay for this. So, therefore, we're not going to do anything much for this match. We're just going to give you basic, Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown matches. And you're sitting there just like, okay, but why though? So overall, I think the match was solid. Like I said, for a basic Monday or Friday night, same with the first match, but it needed more. It needed a lot more to make it WrestleMania worthy. There were so many people who was left out that could have taken these spots and given us a WrestleMania worthy match. So this wasn't it. Now, after the free hour, our first official WrestleMania match. And don't get me wrong, all these are official WrestleMania matches, but our first, hey, your pay-per-view match was the four-way fatal for the women's tag team titles. Nia Jax Lash Legend versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus the Bella Twins versus Bayley and Lyra. Now, for those who don't know, and if you just weren't aware, Nikki injured her ankle. I want to say maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she was rehabbing it. She was trying to come back quickly, and she just couldn't rehab it in time. Now, if you're following WWE news, you're following wrestling news in general, you probably saw big bold letters. Paige re-signed with WWE for a multi-year deal. Now, that meant two things. Paige was going to show up tonight or for Sunday night, and it was going to be for like certain matches. Now, if Nikki was out, the rumor also was the Kabuki Warriors were going to take that spot. But at the same time, it was easier to shoehorn Paige in this with the Bella Twins to go for these tag titles. It was like an easy fit. So that's what they did. And Nikki's kind of serving as a manager because she was there too. So, yeah, Paige is back. Paige and Brie Bella won the women's tag titles. Now, I had two choices. If you watch my video, like I said, my previous video on the channel, I did state that Bayley and Lyra should have won these titles. And I do still think they should have, and I do think they will. Here's the overall problem. You had a returning Paige. So the moment when that news broke, I'm like, wait. If Paige is back and if Paige is in this match, they're just not going to not put those titles on Paige and Brie. They're just not going to do it. They're like, you're not going to do it, if you know what I mean. They were just going to totally do this. And that's what they did. So it was just like, now, how long do Paige and Brie hold the titles? I don't know. I don't even know if they're going to be on SmackDown or Raw. The titles go either way. I don't know if I know Nikki was a Raw superstar. I don't know if I'm assuming Brie is also a Raw superstar. So I'm also going to just assume Paige will be a Raw superstar. Paige looked good in the ring. As y'all know, she was also at AEW for a bit. To me, when she was with AEW, she was still a little rusty because she's been with the ring for so long. But she was growing, and she was a women's world champion. So she's still getting that ring rust out. She's still doing certain things. And she looked good tonight, for what that match was. But I'm going to give y'all another little quick snippet on how long this match was. 8 minutes, 35 seconds for a four-way fatal women's tag team match. This is WrestleMania, y'all. I need that to be in perspective. This is WrestleMania, and this match is 8 minutes and 35 seconds long. So we're sitting here like, okay, why is this match so short? What's going on? And I don't know. I don't know. What's going on? Why was this 8 minutes and 35 seconds? So again, match was predictable on the winner. Because I'm sad Alexa Bliss had to take the pin. It looks like they're finally going to separate Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. I don't want to see Alexa Bliss and Charlotte have a feud. I think that's pointless now. And if you do it, Charlotte shouldn't win it. I think Alexa should win it, and then join the Wyatt Six and go on for the go for the United States title. If she's going to stay in the tag title division, pair her with Nikki Cross. But ultimately, I don't think that should happen. I do think they should go for single titles. I just don't think they should feud. But that's just me. But I do think they're going to put Charlotte back in the main title picture, and I'll get into that soon. Very soon, because it's happy news, but it's just like, okay, yeah, now you need people in this picture. So, yeah. 8 minutes, 35 seconds, y'all. Not good. Not good. Not good at all. But at least the four-way fatal treated itself like a four-way fatal. There was no, hey, I'm going to tag a random person and they're in. No, you tag. 4 women started this match, and you had to tag your partner in and out. It wasn't nothing stupid where anybody could be tagged in and you just pin that person. Nah, those are stupid rules. I don't know why WWE does that. But moving on. I'm rambling. Because this Mania was trash. It's not really too much to talk about. So hopefully tomorrow night will be better. But let's keep moving on. Our fourth match. Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the Women's Intercontinental title. Y'all, this match was 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Let that sink in. For these women have gone against each other 4 different times. Now AJ has won 3 out of those 4. Becky Lynch is the winner for tonight. She regained her Intercontinental Women's title. Now, again, winner, extremely predictable, because there was no way they were going to allow AJ to keep that title, because AJ's a part-timer, and it looks like AJ might go away for a little while longer and then return again, and they want that Intercontinental title, moving. She's going to be, and I think what's going to happen is ultimately that title is going to shift to Bayley soon. Or whoever, I'm assuming is going to be Bayley, but they needed the title on somebody who's going to be there full time and going to rep the title and rep the business. But the fact that this match could have, again, been a banger, because and this was, I would say, chemistry wise, this was AJ and Becky's best match together, chemistry wise. Their pacing was the best of the women tonight. But again, this should have been longer. And if you for those who missed the match, Jessica Carr, it looks like we're really pushing to a Jessica Carr versus Becky Lynch match, because they got into a shoving match. I'm almost positive Jessica Carr might end up becoming a wrestler. Because you gotta pay that feud off. At this point, they got into this whole shoving match and everything. Interesting enough, so I'm talking about this match now, and that's what they're showing the highlights on the TV of that match. But again, ultimately, Becky won via shenanigans. But Becky won. Becky's new Intercontinental Champion for the 3rd time. Predictable. Moving on. Now, this next match. Again, a predictable match. A little longer than Becky's and AJ's. But, again, another match that should have gone on longer. A very physical match. Probably the best match of the night, in my opinion. Next match is Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Gunther won. which again I don't think anybody suspected Gunther to lose because you got to pay off the favor Gunther asked Paul Heyman for fighting Seth. Now, before the bell even rung out for this match, they were brawling. They were brawling. It was physical. It was everything it needed to be, except being long enough. This match was 15 minutes and 45 seconds. This match should have damn near been 30 minutes. I'm not going to hold you. This match should have been 30 minutes. Because these guys, not only was the chemistry there, you wanted to see them go at it again. You want to see this feud. You want to see this payoff. But we knew this was like hey, we're building back up Braun Breaker to come back. And that's what happened. Braun Breaker spears it was an ugly spear. Both times he speared Seth, they were ugly. But yeah, Braun Breaker's return. He spears Seth. Seth gets knocked out, and I'm gonna talk about something about this match for y'all. I have a big pet peeve with the referees in WWE being inconsistent with the knockout rule. I hate every time when, like, for example, Cena's match, when it came to when Gunther had him in the sleeper hold, right? The referee took Cena's arm, and with AJ Styles match, the referee did the same thing. He would lift your arm and you wait till it drops 3 times. With Seth, they just squeezed his hand and it was like, oh, it's over. He's out. I'm like, no, be consistent. Be consistent. I hate that squeeze the hand. Oh, is he out? Oh, let's just pass on the match. Not as stupid. Do the arm raise. Like, make us feel the suspense, and it wasn't there. It's like, again, y'all, this is Mania. This is Mania. And they are failing. This match was the match of the night. And they killed the suspense with that instant knockout. And it's because they're quickly moving from Gunther to Seth Rollins. Because clearly at SummerSlam, it's going to be Gunther versus Lesnar. And Gunther retires Lesnar. That's the end game for Gunther right now. For Seth, it's Braun Breaker. So they were like, they just quickly wrote it off. And I'm like, this isn't good writing. Who is doing this? And Triple H, man, look, man. You're booking right now. I'm not mad at it, and I think the card, as far as who was going against you, was great. The card was great. The execution was horrible. So I don't know whose decision and why this was made, but Trip, this was not it. This was not it. These length for matches was not it. So, anywho, Gunther versus Seth, best match of the night for me. It just should have been. It should have been, should have been longer. Just should have been longer. Like Seth losing, expected. By no stretch of the imagination, should this been just 15 minutes? It should have gone another 15 minutes, to be honest with y'all. But moving on. This is my worst match of the night. And I hate to say this. I was really looking forward to this match because this feud, in my opinion, was amazing. They made this feud amazing. And that is Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan. And I hated this match. First and foremost, in my previous video and other videos I've said before about all my other wrestling reviews, I like Liv Morgan. I like Stephanie. Stephanie didn't need to hold the title for a year. Stephanie, by no stretch of the imagination, should have lost tonight either. I'm going to give y'all how long this match was first before I get into it. This match was only 9 minutes. That was the first issue. Second issue, Liv winning. Will Liv get a title match if she didn't win tonight? Yes. 150 billion %. It's Liv Morgan. She's a made woman. Liv Morgan is one of the faces of this company, in my opinion. Did Liv need this win? No. Not at all. And I get it. They probably didn't want the women's winner of the Royal Rumble to lose back-to-back as Charlotte won last year. where when Lashley lost to Tiffany. Um, and they was like, we can't do that with Liv. And I'm like, you totally could have did this with Liv. But if you watch a lot of other wrestling podcasts and a lot of other things, like a lot of people have been saying as of late, it was kind of obvious they were going to put the strap on Liv because they were just doing too much for Liv, and it was kind of obvious that their favorite, they're putting a lot of favoritism towards her. She got a new music video. In my opinion, it's not good, but if she likes it, I love it. She said for a long time she does not like her music that she previously had. So if she's gotten music she's done herself and she likes. So if she likes it, I love it. I'm not a fan of it, but she likes it. So, um, y'all, it's obvious that the Judgment Day did get involved. It took two oblivions, and I find it funny how every time I am talking about the specific match, that person is coming out for their post match interview. So anywho, I say again, Liv should not have won. Liv winning does nothing. I feel like WWE hurt Stephanie's reign more than anything, and I say this because who has Stephanie really gone against? Like the first major challenge was EO. That was an amazing match. That was the best match of WrestlePalooza in my opinion. And then it was like, oh, I'm just feuding with Raquel and Nikki across the board. And I think Stephanie's feud with Raquel built Raquel more. It did not build Stephanie. It did not do anything for her reign, in my opinion. It helped build and made her a fighting champion, which is great. Liv should have been a stepping stone to like your big competitors, like your upper echelon of the women in WWE. Because it's like on Raw currently it's Liv, who's one of your upper ones, Becky, but Becky's in the mid card right now. You have your Baileys, who's in the mid card right now. But those, in my opinion, are your upper echelon people on Raw who you need to build Stephanie to be facing. Having her lose to her first upper echelon of the women, to me, was not a great idea. It hurts Stephanie in the long run. So I am really hoping that this feud between Stephanie and Liv continues. I'm almost positive it will, and I don't want Liv to have a long reign. Now that Liv has won this, Liv should not win Money in the Bank, and I think it should be Raquel or Stephanie. But I'm aiming more towards Raquel because Raquel should get a championship run. So yeah, WWE is really dropping the ball when it comes to this match. And living this feud was so good, and then they dropped the ball. So I was extremely disappointed with this match. At times I'm really like, yo, please let me run the women's creative because good God, this is not great. But yeah, good God, yo. This match was 9 minutes. For such a great feud, they failed us. For those who are Stephanie fans, for those who are thinking certain things should be better. Sorry, hold on one second. Sorry, my phone was going off. Uh, for wanting to see a better build to a feud, they really let us down, and that's not okay. That's the overall issue. They let us down for those who wanted to see like a very good feud between Liv and Stephanie, and to see them build a champion. Because if you're building Stephanie to be a champion, this was not the way to do it, in my opinion. So we're gonna move on from that and go to the next best match of the night, which started off as I ain't gonna hold you. I started off a little slow. The next best match of night one was, and it's also the longest match of night one. Uh, the main event: Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee. Now, again, I'm not gonna get into all the Pat McAfee stuff. Uh, the stipulation was if Randy lost, Pat goes home. Oh, going back real quick to the Stephanie Liv match. That was the only predicted match I got wrong, by the way. Um, so yeah. Oh, and it's something else I forgot to bring up too, because I moved up my thing. Uh, so before I get into Cody versus Randy, I'm sorry, I missed one part of my notes here. John Cena is the host of WrestleMania. When he was doing the attendance, I forgot the number, but Bianca comes out, and everybody was wondering like, what's going on with Bianca? What's going on with Bianca? What's going on with Bianca? We finally got an answer. What's going on with Bianca? Bianca's pregnant. Congratulations to her and Montez. Uh, so yeah, Bianca's pregnant. So I don't know the length of time from the finger injury to her being pregnant, but yeah, she's sporting a baby bump. Um, so we won't be seeing Bianca probably till like late 2027, early 2028, which is fine. Take care of yourself, get healthy, have your baby, take care of your baby. Uh, you know, uh, so again, it's one of those situations to why we're going into. I got to go back to the women's matches as a whole before I ramble on to before I go into Cody and Randy. I'm sorry, y'all. So one of the issues with the women's matches, and again, I love the fact that Paige is back. But I'm in wrestling groups, I'm watching podcasts as I'm watching Mania, and some people brought up a very good point. We had all these matches, and these matches are not only slow paced. We could have added more because of how limited these matches were, and we don't understand. And they're not telling us why these matches were so, low on time. I want y'all to understand something. Tiffany versus Julia could have been on Mania, but it wasn't. They wasn't put down on SmackDown. Instead, they did Tiffany versus Jordan Grace, and don't even get me started on how they're doing Jordan Grace. Um, but yeah, Tiffany, Tiffany and Julia could have been on Mania in one of the 3 hours. I want that to sink in. Julia has not been on Mania yet, y'all. That Women's United States title has not been represented at Mania, but the Intercontinental Women's title has. Yeah, I believe it has. I might be wrong, actually. I'm gonna check to see if I'm wrong real quick, but I'm almost positive it. Hold on, let me go back. Yeah, let me go to last year's. I'm about to. I don't want to be loud and wrong right now, you know. But let me see. Women's Intercontinental. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. No, I'm right. No, 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 I'm wrong. I'm wrong. That was the men's Intercontinental title. No, I'm wrong. I'm loud and wrong. So, anywho, all right. So there's hope. I'm loud and wrong, but I'll say this: Mania, in my opinion, should be a night where every single title is defended, should be represented, and it's not. It is not. Uh, and I don't understand why it's not. Um, and this is just again my head canon. Sometimes it happens, and sometimes it doesn't. I understand that, but the fact that you have, again, the women needed more titles because just having the two was stupid. They needed mid card titles because this is how you build your superstars. This is how you make them noticeable. You know, and don't get me wrong, you can do it without it, but it gives more oomph to it. And the fact that again, this women's United States title is not being represented, and some of these women who should be on the card aren't on the card, but yet you can give me celebrity matches. It's stupid, in my opinion. That's just stupid. Um, and then the fact that these matches are so freaking low in time is it's like, what are you doing? So, anywho, uh, that's why I was going off Charlotte. It looks like Charlotte and Alexa are going to go back in the mid card because I don't think for tomorrow Jade is retaining. I just don't. Because unlike Stephanie's reign, where they actually had Stephanie do something which makes Liv and Stephanie's feud even more frustrating, like for the turnout, I mean, Jade's reign, and it's not Jade's fault. Jade's reign didn't do anything. She didn't defend it until recently, and her only defense was Jordan. And they didn't really allow Jordan to be a threat to her. So that means okay. And since Bianca, we now know is out, we won't see. We're going to need more threats to that title, or threatening people who can stop the current champion's reign. And that those threats are your Charlotte Flairs. Those threats are your Rhea Ripley's. Again, Jade Cargill, because I do think Jade Cargill will lose it at Mania, but I do think she will regain it at SummerSlam. And they'll do better by her feuds come SummerSlam. And now I say this because, again, if you just give these women a try, you can do some magic with these women. Like, Chelsea Green is treated as a comedy, gig. Chelsea Green is good. She's good. And and I get it. Chelsea Green if you ask her, she's going to do it, and she likes doing that. But if you want to make her a serious contender, she can be a serious contender. And I don't think it hurts Jade's reign to go against these people. And they didn't do it. So at this point in time now, and I think they feel like it's more believable, we just do it with Rhea. And I'm like, but Rhea's going to do the same thing Jade's just going to do to him. She's just going to beat them until you get to a Tiffany and a Charlotte. Maybe an Alexa. Because Alexa, you can't just belittle Alexa's reign as a champion, because Alexa was a great champion at her time. Which, again, WWE, my God. I'm moving on, but yes, congratulations to Bianca Belair. Hope to see her back soon, but please take your time. I know a lot of people don't want to hear say take your time, but take your time. You're having a kid. I understand how it feels. I'm about to have a kid. Like I said, next match, Cody versus Randy. This match was the longest match of the night. 22 minutes and 55 seconds. Again, match was predictable. I know a lot of people assumed Randy was going to win. They were not going to redo what they did last year, because even though they're trying to make this feud different, it's the same thing from last year. John Cena had Rock and Travis Scott. Now, granted, that fell through, but Travis Scott did show up at Mania to help Cena win 17. And Pat McAfee was there to help Randy wear 15. And I was like, y'all not about to do that to Cody twice. That's dumb. We've been there, done that. Why are we doing this again? That match should have honestly just been legacy. It should have been strictly about legacy and how to move forward versus including Pat. The match as a whole, I'm going to say this for one. I am overly tired of this whole, Randy's back is always hurting. I'm like, y'all, how long are we going to keep doing this? I feel like every major match Randy is in, we have to, depower him somehow and be like, his back's injured, so he doesn't get the win. I'm like, can we please stop this? Can we please stop this? If Randy loses, Randy loses. It's okay. But eventually you will need to get that man 15. I think he should reach 16. He should not reach 17. I think he will get 16. I don't think Cody holds that title going into SummerSlam, personally. And if he does, he's losing it at SummerSlam. But yeah, overall, this match got better as it went on. There was a lot of times where we were just like, okay, where are we going here? It got bloody in the end. But yeah, the match got good after a while. It was like, okay. But by the time I ain't gonna hold y'all, I was already drained from it being what it was. Because I'm like, why is this match this match? As far as, I shouldn't say this match. Why is this WrestleMania? Like, why did y'all do this at night one? That was my energy. So the fact that Cody versus Randy was like, this is picking up. It's slowly getting better as it goes, was a great thing. And I'm glad as it went on, it kept grasping my attention. So it was like the second best match of the night. Um, but overall, we still have some more story bars. It looks like a backlash. It will again be Randy versus Cody, unless they say, hey, Cody has to relinquish the title because he has a concussion because Randy did punt him in the head at the end of the match after he lost. Um, but yeah, my overall thoughts is WrestleMania Night One was garbage. I got some people that's telling me it wasn't that bad. It was garbage. It just it was garbage, and I think the card itself, like when you look on paper and you see the card, it's just like actually this looked kind of solid for what the limited resources you kind of had, and then you look back, it's just like, what did you do? Why did you butcher it like this? And I don't know what's going on. Um, I am really, really hoping that night two will be better. Night two is normally always better than one. Um, I feel like we haven't had a consistent night one and two since the one where I think that was Mania 40, which was like the Rock, where the Rock and Roman had to go against Cody and Seth in the first night, and the second night, it was for like Bloodline rules, and Seth had to defend his title against Drew. I feel like both nights of that was solid. I don't feel like we've had two solid night, like absolute solid night since 40. Granted, this is only just 42, but if this is how we go on with night one, good God, y'all. Please do better, WWE. Please. Because this wasn't good. Night one was not good. I need y'all to do better than this. Because this card looked really good. And the shoehorning in of Pat McAfee, I'm even leaving out what things happened in the match. But when I tell y'all it was that, seeing how good the card looked and seeing how it turned out was very, very disappointing. Um, and I know I'm keep harping on this, but I had a lot of I kind of had high hopes on something because I know they had to you're fighting against so many variables, and I had high hopes that they were going to pull something off, and they didn't. So night two looks like night two. I hope is way better, but I'm already a little scared because I'm looking at the night two card. I want to give you some perspective here real quick. For the first hour, again, it's free on ESPN. The first match is Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. I believe they said that's the opener. Now, granted, because it's two big guys, that match most likely is not going to be long because it's normally not with two big guys. But I'm like, all right. So is there either Oba should squash Lesnar or this match is only going for 5 minutes? Now, 5 to 8 minutes tops. It ain't going over 10. Next match is the ladder match. Penta versus Javon Evans versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough versus Rusev versus Rey Mysterio for the Intercontinental title. That's going to be free. So, luckily it's a ladder match, but given to we had an unsanctioned match, and it felt so tamed. It felt like an average Monday Night Raw match or Friday Night SmackDown match. I'm a little worried. I hope with this talent they have in this ring that we see some carnage. I don't want to see nobody get hurt, but I should feel suspenseful. I should still feel the suspense of who's going to win this match. So I hope by tomorrow that is back. The next match after that, well, at least this is how they have the card read. It might change because the order of the card changed for tonight. The next match after the Intercontinental ladder match is Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley for the women's WWE Championship. Excuse me. That's next. Again, I'm not looking forward to this. This feud was garbage to me, but I am rooting for Rhea to win. And we just redesigned Jade as more of a beast, going as a monster, trying to reclaim it. Uh, so we'll see how. Hopefully, hey, at this point, it might be the best women's match of WrestleMania. So I am really, really hoping that. Next match after that is Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. This might be a fun match. Well, not might be. This is going to be a fun match. I also want to put in perspective the big three of NXT of this current era of NXT have all made it to Mania. Put that in perspective. Trick Williams, Obafemi, Javon Evans all have matches. I feel like this has been like the most NXT heavy WrestleMania in my opinion. At least I think it is. I might be wrong, but yeah, this is a very heavy NXT WrestleMania. But anywho, moving on. Next match after that is the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. Again, I hope it's a solid match. I kind of think it should be a squash match because this is the return of the Demon. This match should be quick, but we'll see what happens. In the main event, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. That should be a long match. Rumor is The Rock might show up. Rumor is somebody's interfering. There's a lot of rumors around that match, so we'll see what happens. But outside of that, night 2 does look solid. Let's hope it is. Interesting. Hold on. Yeah, damn. We had majority of all the women's matches on night 1. So, yeah, that was Mania night 1, y'all. I'll be doing this again tomorrow. Let's hope tomorrow's better. Until next time, peace.